This is Zero from TechDragon.info, and today we are back in tanks, and I am joined by Lola.
Hello.
And Jamie.
Hello.
So, today we're gonna do another tactical with tanks, and we're gonna take a look at armor penetration. And, well, I guess just general shooting people to crap and how you do it. I see you. You're a zoom zoom tank.
Shoot me though. Oh shit, too far out. No!
But you asked!
Was uncalled for. I was just asking, you don't actually have to do it. Meanie.
Oh. So, that is how not to shoot a tank. So most shots so far have just ricocheted off. That was the first one to pin. Okay, well, we don't have to shoot me to crap just yet.
Oh, fine.
Hey, you pinned one. Where'd you shoot that?
Me?
Did I just bounced a shot from behind. Good job. So, anyways, when you're facing... Hey, stop it. When you're facing an opponent, stay still. I wasn't going to shoot your track. So, when you're facing an opponent, well, in this case it's two, but let's just say that there's just Lola in her M7 there. If I angle my tank like this, I can actually go a little bit further. Nope. There. Try to shoot my front plate. That one actually pinned. Wow. I need to angle a little bit more. Oh, here we go.
You want me to back up a bit?
No, just try it. Okay. Oh, surprisingly, that gun has enough pin.
That's kind of weird. I would have expected it to go in there, but where I shot before it wouldn't.
No, I think I wasn't angled properly. Try again. Yeah, I wasn't angled enough towards you, I think. Oh, that one still goes in.
No, I can still shoot you there.
That's weird.
Well, apparently you have a weak spot.
You're in close proximity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I should back up.
That does matter for pin, because penetration drops off with distance.
Okay, like here?
Yeah. Let me re-angle. Well, I'm still angling, okay? Yeah, it still goes in.
Jeez.
That gun is better than I thought. Stop shooting, by the way, I'm almost
It
dead.
is. Yeah, no.
Yeah. But anyways, I should have picked the other tank. Well, this thing doesn't have armor. That's the whole thing about this tank. It doesn't have armor. Its armor is 50.
I thought that one was supposed to be really bouncy.
Oh, it is. Sort of. It's because of the angling of the armor. So, because of the angle, as you can see here at the front here, it's angled back by quite a bit. What, 45 degrees, 40 degrees? That gives it a effective armor thickness of... Jamie, how's your math?
I don't know its thickness.
Let's see, it's 50 millimeters, slope back like that. That should almost double it, so it should be about 100 millimeters. And your gun has 92 penetration, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, 92. So yeah, that's why you're going through. However, if Jamie is shooting me at the front, he should not be able to pin.
Kill him, Jamie, kill him.
I'll have him next time.
So, yeah. You can stop shooting now. So, the thing is, your gun has just barely got enough penetration to get through, even if I angle.
Yeah.
With my angling plus the angle of the armor, I'm getting probably, but this is just from the top of my head, probably getting about 110 millimeters of armor. And you have 92 on average penetration, so that can go up to, what, 100? Click control, or hold down control and hover over your shell. No, it just says the average.
Yeah.
It's just the average.
Average 67.
Yeah, so yours is only 67, while my armor effectively is around 110 millimeters.
Yeah, that was never going to go through.
Nope. However, there are things like weak spots.
Yep.
Hey. So if you're at the front of a tank and you cannot pin him, there's a couple of things that you want to look for. Machine gun ports, like this big one in the middle of my hull here. I turn around a bit, just below my gun there.
Yep.
That is a massive weak spot.
I'll go for it.
No, you'll probably one-shot me. On the top of turrets, and we have a beautiful example here. That thing is massive. Those hatches on the top of turrets, cupola hatches or commander hatches, they are always weak spots on every tank. Now, one thing you gotta keep in mind is they're round. So if you hit them like here, well, my gun has enough penetration, but if you shoot like an AT2, and you shoot it on the side here, it won't even pen, it will just bounce. So you have to hit it directly in the middle.
By the back.
Yeah, the back is gonna go in, no problem. Actually, I don't think there is a point on your tank that will actually bounce me.
There won't be.
No, not really. Jager, huh?
Yep.
So, yeah, penetration really depends on what tank you're facing, what gun you have, and if they angle, or if it's you, then how you angle. Right. Now, the thing is, if I angle like this, as you can see, my weak spot is a lot more open than if I angle from this corner. So you want to know your tank and know how to turn your tank so that your weak spot is the least visible. Now, a general weak spot in all tanks, and we have a beautiful example here again, is, well, in this case, this bit and that bit. Where are you, Lola? There you are. That bit. It's the lower glacis, and in almost all tanks, it's the weakest spot of the armor. So, on a lot of tanks, you'll probably want to be standing, well, stay there, Lola. Yeah, it's too low from my perspective. Can you go behind that wall next to you? No? Yeah, that one. Go behind that.
Yeah.
Wait, just your front. Hold on, so I can see you still. Turn. Face me. Yeah, like that. See, now you've effectively blocked off your lower hull, which means I can't shoot you there. So if this was a tank with a lot of armor, then I would have a very bad target to shoot at, because the weak point isn't visible. So then there's one more thing with hiding your tank. If you hide your tank like, well, let's see if I can get an angle on it here. No, not really. If you hide your tank where everything is covered except for your turrets, that is what people refer to as hull down. And if they can just shoot at your turret, and you have, in most cases, an American tank, then they have no hope of pinning your turret. This turret has 101 millimeters, and it's sloped. It's rounded and sloped. So he can pretty much shoot, unless very lucky, shoot at my turrets all day long. He just hit my gun.
Or I went straight down the barrel.
So, yeah, that is one thing you want to consider if you're driving around in American tanks. Almost all of them have very, very strong turrets. So you want to protect your whole tank behind a hill, behind rubble, behind another tank. Tanks are good to shoot over. So if I like hide behind this one and shoot over the back, then all they can see is my turret. That sort of stuff, then you're gonna be just annoying to kill. Simple as that.
This
Just
tank has
plain
no arch
annoying.
protection over its tracks.
So if you like stand, if he were to be dead and be a corpse, you could stand behind him and just shoot like this. I'm not properly parked behind him, but like all they could see is my turret. Like that. So they'll have a dickens of a time trying to just kill me. But that goes for most tanks actually. The more you can protect on your tank from the enemy seeing you, the less of a target they have. So it's always a good practice to hide your tank if you can behind cover or a hill, or but it's mostly the American tanks that can actually hide behind a hill because they have gun depression. Like that. and not all tanks have that. So, weak spots. On just general weak spots, I mean. Machine gun ports in the front, like I have here. Hatches at the top of the turret, like this one here. These little square... zoomed in too far. Just underneath my turret, there's 2 square black boxes. Those are viewports. Can you stand still for a sec, Lola? And face me so I can actually see your viewports. That. What am I aiming at right now? That and that are viewports. Those are good things to shoot. If you're facing a German tank, always shoot them in the lower glacis and you have a good chance to barbecue them. Because that's what the Germans do. They barbecue a lot. Oh, I love barbecuing Germans. It's the most satisfying thing, shooting them in their lower glacis and just lighting them on fire. And having burn. Anywho.
So nice.
I know.
Bit warmer
So,
here.
if you have no chance whatsoever of pinning somebody from the front, your best bet is to let them engage with somebody else. Make sure they're busy shooting at someone else, and what you do is you do this. You go alongside them. You don't have to be this close, but you go alongside them and shoot them in the back, the side, back of the turret, sides of the turret are usually weak spots. So in pretty much every single tank, the back of the tank is a weak spot. I think the only exception would be the 82, which is still, 100 millimeters in the back, I think? And probably the rest of the bridge TDs. So yeah, backs of turrets, sides of turrets, these kind of hatches, as you see here, on the side of his turret there, those are loading hatches, where they're loading the shells into the tank. And usually if you hit those, you get ammo rack chance. And what were you saying, Lola?
I was just gonna say, isn't the KV-4 just as bad with the back armor as the front?
Yeah, the KV-4 is pretty evil. That's probably why I have one. I'm gonna keep mine. It's awesome. Hey! Oh wow!
Oops.
Did 55 damage.
Did a hell of a lot to me, though.
So, Jamie, if you can stand still for a sec. In most tanks, if you shoot them like that-ish area, so the back top, you have a chance to hit their engine, to knock out their engine, to cause fire. But it really depends on the tank you're facing.
With this, it's quite regular.
Yeah, it's German. They
Yeah.
like barbecues. They just do. That's a German thing. They light on fire. When in doubt, barbecue.
What about the exhaust?
Well, if you just shoot in the back of the tank, it's basically the same component that you're shooting in. In some tanks, it's not all of them, but some of them, the back of the turret is a ammo rack hazard. So if you keep your turret straight for a sec, not necessarily the back, but like the back side. Ooh, zoomed in a bit too far. Like that-ish area. So forget about the hatch for a second, but the back of the turret is sometimes also a spot where they store ammunition. And then it depends per tank. Sometimes tanks will have a hatch here on the side. I don't know if you do. No, you have side skirts. For some reason my tank doesn't... Oh, my driver's dead. That's why. I'm wondering why I couldn't turn for shit.
That's another driver I've killed. Thank you.
We should keep track. So, did I miss any weak spots? Machine gun port, just general weak spots. Lower glacis,
No, yeah, that's about it.
commander cupola.
Barrel. Barrel.
Yeah, but it's quite difficult to shoot in the barrel. It's only like a 1 in 10 chance that you actually knock out their gun. You have to shoot it quite often with, if you want to take it out.
What's a tank
It's
without
not
a
that
gun?
great. Yeah, and it's the best thing you can do to a tank other than destroy it. What else? Oh, yeah, that's something we need to talk about. Spaced armor. I should have taken out my Super Pershing for this, but what spaced armor is a dual layer of armor. So, if you stand still for a sec, Lola.
Yes.
you look over here, no, I want to see your side. Yeah. If you look over here, you see that there's a sort of plate covering her side of the top track there. I don't think actually on this tank it counts as spaced armor, but that is what it is on a lot of tanks. If you have like the Russian higher tier heavy tanks, they have side skirts like that protect their tracks, and it actually counts as spaced armor. So shooting an IS-3 and an IS-8 and an IS-4 in like this general area often will say penetration but no damage. Because it hits the spaced armor, the shell basically loses all penetration because it has to go through one layer of armor already, and then doesn't have enough penetration to actually go inside the hull of the tank. And the Super Pershing is probably the best example of spaced armor because it has it all over the place. And I'll show you after this in the garage what that looks like. I'm trying to think. Did we leave anything out?
No.
Yes, we did. We did.
Oh.
Why did you have to kill my driver? This is painful to steer.
Here, let me help you.
No, I'm on 60 health. Don't.
You're fine.
Thanks.
You're fine.
You killed my track.
I mean, oops.
Ay. Come on, I still have one thing to show, so no. So we've shown angling and what it does. One thing you have to keep in mind is that if you have very weak side armor, like if it's just absolutely crap, you want to do a little bit less angling. Like if the enemy is over here, then if you have good side armor, you want to angle almost this extremely, like point the corner of your tank towards them. But if your side armor is crap, you want to angle it more like this, if they're there, or maybe a little bit like this, but it really depends on what tank you're in, so I can't really give you any fixed numbers. But so, one last thing, Lola, if you want to go down that street for a sec.
Okay.
Don't have to shoot or anything, it's just so I can show this. Now, again, if you have a decent side armor, but you have a massive weak spot in the front, what you can do is something called side scraping. So what you do is you go to a corner like this, and I want to look into this street here, on the right hand side here. So what you do is you do like this, you back out, and voila, you can see here. But if I turn my camera, it's kind of hard to see, but she can only see like part of my front hull and a very angled tank. So A, you're a small target. B, if anything shoots at your side, it's almost always gonna bounce if you have decent side armor. So you want to do it on tanks with decent armor, but it still works on any tank because effectively you're increasing your side armor because the shell is coming in at this angle, like straight from there. So they're hitting an extremely sloped armor at that point. So even if it's weak, it still has a better chance of ricocheting than if you just peek around the corner like this. Because then you just expose your tank, or even worse, if you come around the corner like this. This is like the worst thing you could do because you're completely exposing your side armor. You see people coming around the corner like this, and it's the absolute worst thing you could do.
I've got a green reticle on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamie, I think your driver's drunk.
I concur.
You keep just driving into the wall.
No, I was just
Oy.
seeing side scraping does work here as well, especially on a mouse.
Yep.
Yeah, not wall ramming, side scraping.
So yeah, side scraping is a technique that requires a little bit of practice to get it right, but it can make your tank, I wouldn't say invincible, but
Near
I
on.
mean, if I want to look down here, all I have to go back to see the full corner. Well, there's a building in a way, but that's where the corner is. There. So what they see of my tank is less than this. I can't really point my camera there right now, but what, 2/3 of my tank is covered up. They're only seeing about 1/3 or 1/4 of my tank. So in this case, I have a massive weak spot on that side of my front hull. So I would do better on the other side in the corner. Like if we turn around here. If I were standing on that side, then my weak spot in my front hull would be completely covered. So that's another reason to do this. If you have a KV5, if you've played this game for a while, you'll know the KV5 has a massive weak spot in front, the big R2-D2 turret. If KV5 side scrapes like this, then his R2-D2, which is frontally on the left if you're looking at him, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, is completely covered, and he has no real weak spot, and he can just back out, shoot, pull forward, and the worst they can do is track him. Oh boy, then they're still just shooting at your side on the, tracks. So
Can I take a shot?
yeah, sure. I mean, that angle, it's almost not gonna happen ever. As you can see, it will just bounce. Lola, do you want to attempt one shot from there?
Sure, but...
Yeah, we'll see.
That was high explosive.
Cheater. See?
Oh, pen.
Even at that angle.
I mean, bounce. I said...
Look at the angle, the shells are coming off that.
Yeah. So, that's my side armor. She went through my frontal armor with that gun at an angle, but my side armor at this angle, not happening. So the worst they can do, blow your tracks off. Well,
Like that.
you're still standing at an angle, so they still can't pen you. And maybe like 1 in 100 lucky shots that just hit something will go through, but more than likely, they won't. Where you going?
Back spam.
No.
Oh, not that time. There we go.
Back up, back up, back up! He's gonna come and kill us!
He's tracked for the moment.
He's done.
Run! Run!
He's done. Shit! Which... No.
Okay, let's try the flanking abilities on these scouts.
Let's do this. Why do I feel like he's gonna come around the other side and just totally obliterate us?
Because he thinks we're going that side. We are.
Because we are.
Yeah, we're totally going all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
I think I gave it away.
Shit, he doesn't know where we are, what?
Spotting medium.
Such lovely people, aren't they?
Hey, we know you, and we know that you're gonna stop at nothing to eat the shit out of both of us. Hello.
Oh, damn, I was just,
Well, I did expect you were coming from that side. I was already side scraping. If my driver wasn't dead, I would have been able to set up a little bit better.
I mean, oh, I'm sorry.
So, yeah, let's take a quick look here in my garage at the Super Pershing, so you can see what I'm talking about with spaced armor. Okay, this is Super Pershing? Yes, the Super Pershing, that's a new tank.
Would you mind if I try the Lux?
Well, I'm not actually going to take it out in battle, I'm just going to show it here. So, if you have a Super Pershing, that's new, yes. This right here is spaced armor. I'll show you from the front, you can see it's very spaced. So a shell hits this, uses all its penetration on this armor, and then tries to go through the normal armor, which is cut in like half or even more, so it's just not going to do anything. If we zoom in here, you can actually see 3 distinct layers of armor. So it has to go through 2 layers of armor and then go into the hull. And the hull is still 178 millimeters, so it's not a weak hull at all. And the same with the lower, also has 3 layers. So the only spots you can penetrate this tank is here if you have a really good gun with like 200 plus pen. Or you shoot past the spaced armor, so into the commander hatch here, into the viewport here, or this hatch, although that's really small, into these viewports here, into the machine gun port, so all the standard in the back of the turret if you're looking at the side, just anywhere on the side of the tank, and of course the back. So the thing is, this tank is incredibly hard to kill if you don't know where to shoot it. If you know where to shoot it and you have a accurate enough gun, it's not that difficult. So, I think that about covers it for penetration and angling and all that. Do you guys have anything to add, or did we cover everything?
No, pretty sure that was everything.
I think so.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya!
Bye.